The Black Templars are a Loyalist second founding Space Marine chapter derived from the Imperial Fists gene seed and their primarch Rogal Dorn. Their origin can be traced back to the Imperial Fists' defense of Terra during the Horus Heresy. Since that time, the Black Templars have been on the longest Imperial crusade the Imperium of Man has ever known to prove their loyalty to the Emperor of Mankind. They are not a Codex Astartes compliant chapter, and maintain a very different chapter structure and culture than is the norm amongst most of the Adeptus Astartes. They are also deeply unusual amongst the forces of the Adeptus Astartes for venerating the Emperor as a literal god, just like the mortal adherents of the Imperial cult. After the Horus Heresy, Rogal Dorn, primarch of the Imperial Fists, resisted the breakup of the Space Marine legions into smaller chapters. It was only when the Imperial Fists were almost branded heretics that Dorn relented, allowing his beloved legion to be subdivided into chapters. One of the new chapters born of this time was the Black Templars. To prove his loyalty to the Emperor in the wake of the Imperial Fists' opposition to the second founding, the first chapter master of the Black Templars, the High Marshal Sigismund, assembled a massive war fleet and began the greatest Space Marine crusade in the history of the Imperium. It has lasted for 10,000 standard years. Eschewing the establishment of a chapter homeworld, the Black Templars took to the stars in a mighty war fleet. Rather than constructing a single chapter fortress monastery as most Space Marine chapters do, the Black Templars determined to establish a chapter keep upon each world they conquered, to keep watch for treachery, to stage future crusades, and to recruit new battle brothers. The 10 millennia-long Imperial Crusade of the Black Templars has seen its warriors embroiled in some of the most momentous conflicts ever to engulf the Imperium. The subsequent High Marshals of the chapter have followed the example of their founder and taken the fight to the realms of the alien, the heretic, and the witch. The Black Templars are crusaders, holy warriors battling to bring the truth and light of the Emperor to the unconquered worlds of the galaxy. With bolt shell and chainsword, the Black Templars convert the benighted to the light of the Master of Mankind and destroy those who refuse to welcome his truth. Each crusade is directed by the will of the Marshal in command, and each is dispatched by the decree of the High Marshal of the Black Templars to fulfill their prime mission to cleanse the stars. The Black Templars are the best-known example of a crusading chapter in the whole Imperium. Their doctrines, traditions, and organization reflect their particular approach to prosecuting the Imperium's wars. The chapter is divided into a variable number of self-contained and highly mobile forces known as crusades, each commanded by an officer known as a marshal, who is equivalent to a captain in a Codex Astartes compliant chapter, and whose only superior is the High Marshal of the chapter himself. Under most circumstances, the chapter is divided into no more than 3 separate crusade forces, though during especially calamitous times the number has risen to several times more. Crusade forces are such large and powerful bodies that they are usually subdivided into tactical bodies known as fighting companies, analogous to a standard Codex Astartes company, and each of these is led by an officer with the title of Castellan, equivalent to a lieutenant in Codex-compliant chapters. With the successful conclusion of a war for which a crusade force has been raised, the various fighting companies within it are likely to be assigned a new mission, redeployed piecemeal to bolster other crusades already in the field, or sometimes amalgamated into the High Marshal's household, until such time as a new crusade force is mustered. Each crusade force is raised from available fighting companies in order to prosecute a particular foe, purge a specific region of space, or attain a definite goal. Many of these wars are planned and undertaken by the chapter itself, according to the wisdom of its current High Marshal and other highly ranked chapter officers, but others are undertaken as a result of petitions from other institutions within the Imperium. In the main, the High Marshal of the Black Templars is likely to receive only the highest-ranked petitioners, generally those with a warrant from the Senatorum Imperialis, and therefore speaking with the direct authority of the High Lords of Terra and the Emperor himself. On occasion, however, the High Marshal might agree to hear the petitions of especially highly placed inquisitors, or even well-regarded rogue traders, though he is under no legal obligation to offer such individuals any aid. Many times in its glorious history, the chapter has gone to war alongside other august imperial bodies, and a complex web of mutual obligation and honor has evolved. The chapter's propensity for launching such crusades is not merely a point of history or tradition, but something deeply rooted in its psyche. The chapter was formed during the second founding from those battle brothers of the Imperial Fist Legion, most disposed towards aggressive and bold styles of warfare. And furthermore, in whom the events of the Horus Heresy had imprinted an unstoppable drive to continue the Great Crusade and avenge the treacheries committed by the traitor legions. Perhaps these battle brothers were the most recently recruited of the old legion, their raw zeal yet to be tempered by the experience born of duty for which the Imperial Fists were so honored. Regardless, the drive of those original Black Templars became instilled in the new chapter from the beginning. The processes by which its gene stock was cultivated imbued it in future generations on a genetic level. By a combination of raw zeal, genetic enhancement, relentless psycho-conditioning, and the continuous reinforcement of the chapter's histories and battle honors, each battle brother is an exemplar of the crusading warrior knight, fired with righteous anger and driven to avenge every wrong ever done to the Imperium of man by every traitor, fiend, and alien ever to have existed. Make sure to comment your favorite chapter. Like and subscribe for more content from your favorite fantasy worlds.